Hey, what's up, y'all? It's me, Nate Almighty. I am back with a Power Book 4 Force, Season 3, Episode 4, official review and reaction. How we're going to do this is, I'm going to break it down by every important person in this episode, everything that happened to them throughout the episode, and then I will give you guys my overall review at the end. Go ahead, like, share, comment, subscribe, because this video is going to be another banger. Without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, so, of course, we're going to start with Tommy. So, the episode begins with Tommy as he confronts Diamond and Jarard about Dmac. He doesn't understand how much him and Dmac are really that much alike. It's either that, or he does see it and he wants to quell it. That's what I was thinking at the time, right? Diamond smoothed over the situation by telling him, hey, listen, I'm trying to protect Dmac. Dmac caught another body. He's doing this, that, and the third, and the fourth, and the fifth, right? They also talk about a man named Rashawn who wants out of the coalition. And now let's talk about the dynamics between Tommy and Diamond. Now, they've been given subtle hints that Tommy is making Diamond feel uncomfortable. Tommy essentially is doing to Diamond kind of what Ghost was doing, where Tommy is talking to Diamond in a way like they're not partners and he's above him. Diamond had to check him for that, right? Hopefully Tommy's paying attention, right? Next, Tommy goes to see Dmac at Marshall's crib. I'll be speaking on more of that in the Dmac section. After that, Tommy meets Vic and makes him hold a gun for him. Likely Dmac's gun. Then, well, that's what I'm thinking. That's likely Dmac's gun at the moment, right? Then they talk Stacy Marks. And I'll be speaking more on that in the Vic section. But after that, Tommy and Diamond meet with Rashawn and the Sons of Destruction. The Sons of Destruction and their partnership with Tommy and Diamond. However, Rashawn's partner secretly lets Tommy know that he still wants in. Tommy then comes up with the idea to give Rashawn up to King Kilo, taking the heat off Dmac. Next, Tommy finds out Rashawn wants in with the Marquez cartel. He puts a plan together with Rashawn's partner against that. Next, Tommy and Diamond meet with Che. Che scolds Tommy for how he's moving, right? Bringing on bigger enemies, catching unnecessary bodies. That's how that goes. Next, he catches Claudia's girl trying to entrap him later on in the episode. Caught her. I'm thinking he might kill her on the spot. He chooses not to. He has his own reasons, right? Next, Tommy and Diamond kill Rashawn, and they kill him in a very epic way. This is like top 5 most gruesome kills in Power history, okay? After that, Dmac and Tommy are talking, and he tells Dmac that he's good in the streets now. He tells Dmac that he's under his wing from now on. You will answer to me, not to Diamond and Jarard. You are my family. That's how we rock it. That's everything that went on with Tommy for the whole episode 4. Also, I want to add on that he was watching Claudia as Claudia was getting released. After that, Tommy goes to see Dmac at Marshall's place. They discuss Mad Dog and the RDs, okay? And here's the official beginning of Tommy starting to realize Dmac needs his teachings within the game, okay? Speaking about the gun thing. Tommy says, hey, do you still have the gun that you killed Mad Dog with, right? Dmac says yes. Tommy says, hey, you're a fucking amateur, right? He begins doing his damage control for Dmac, and rightfully so. Next after that, Dmac visits JP. Let's talk about that, right? Even though it was short and sweet, right? The intensity, the emotional heaviness of that scene, right? It's very, very, very good. Very good, dramatic scene. They did what guys do, which is we get into arguments with each other, we have fall-offs, and then we squash it in a way where like it's short and sweet. You know what I mean? Like, you may offer somebody a drink, Or you might just be like, my bad, dog. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. But it was a very good scene, and it's good to know that JP and Dmac officially reconciled, right? Before JP's imminent death, because we know it's coming, right? Also, I want to add on that at this point of watching the episode, it lets me know that JP accepts Dmac for who he is more than Tommy does. Well, at least at that moment. All right, now, y'all. Next, let's talk about Diamond and Jarard. Starting off with the talk with Tommy, right? They butt heads on that. Tommy sends Jarard out his way, right? Tommy sons Jarard once again. That man has absolutely no respect for Jarard, right? Next, Jarard talks with Shanti about Dmac, and she's very annoyed with Jarard, right? She's like, hey, I tell you to do something, you don't do it. I also want to speak on, well, I'll wait till I get to the Shanti section, because there's something very particular that I want you guys to pay attention to, right, in that section. But anyways, Shanti is very annoyed with Jarard. She feels like he's not being as loyal to her as he should be, right? He has to check her for being disrespectful as well, right, which she has done multiple times, and he's still jacking her. Now, it's the beginning of the end. Towards the end of the episode, they're going to make things right. I'll go into detail, but it's still the beginning of the end, and I'll explain why, right? Next, at the meeting with Rashawn, Diamond is stressing, and then Tommy points out that the Sons of Destruction are not fully out. Like I said, they get to put in the plan together involving King Kilo and Rashawn. Next, Jarard is the most stressed person in Chicago, all right? He meets with Diamond. They talk about Tommy. Diamond tells Jarard to go back to King Kilo and convince him it was Rashawn that killed Mad Dog, not Dmac. After talking to Shanti about Manny Fresh, Jarard goes to buy back the chain he stole from Joey, the dope head. He offers Joey some drugs. You could tell Jarard really wanted, but he fought it. He fought the urge twice. So I'm telling y'all, that third time when he gets that urge, he's probably going to get high, right? Anyways, Joey passes out, maybe dead. Jarard takes the chain back. He makes it right with Manny Fresh. Jarard talks to King Kilo later after that. He seemingly goes with the lie about Rashawn. Next, him and Diamond have a meeting about it. Diamond upsets him because he's focusing on Tommy more than he feels like he needs to, and he storms off. Next, let's talk about Vic. Vic is getting even more disrespect, right, from Tommy. It is what it is. More and more disrespect, hold it down. Tommy asks him to hold the gun for him. I'm thinking at the time it's likely Dmac's gun. Then they talk Stacey Marks, with her needing more money for her campaign. Tommy decides it would be a good idea to entrap her by making a big donation. Vic gives Tommy's money to Stacey through her assistant, and it's $1 million check. Vic and his girl later on, they talk and get closer. I really don't give a shit. It's not really much for me to say. They building a relationship, whatever. But once she finds out who he is, it's going to be a whole lot of problems, obviously. Next, let's finally talk about Shanti Showstopper, right? And I want to talk about something important about her scene with Jarard, right? About Dmac. So they're walking up the stairs. She's up first. They're having a conversation. And for a couple moments, Shanti is standing right at a higher angle than Jarard, and she's literally talking down on Jarard, right? That is visually, right? The showrunners of the show showing us where mentally Shanti and Jarard differ and how she views herself in regards to Jarard, right? Like he's a stepping stone where she's above him. She does not view him as her intellectual equal, right? And this further is the reason why she's going to be brought to Tommy's side, because she's going to understand Jarard and Diamond are not going to be brothers, and that Tommy is intellectually above them in the game anyway, right? And then Shanti gaslighting Jarard during the argument spells trouble, right? Calling him Big D and all of that other stuff. Like, bitch, don't disrespect me like that. Anyways, Next, Shanti is in the gym later on talking about how she can't trust Jarard and now she has other plans to get to the top. Whoever that guy is, that's going to be her number 2, whatever. Next, Shanti links up with the woman Jarard robbed last season. We talking about Manny Fresh. They talk business. She finds out Jarard robbed her. It won't end well. That's what I'm thinking at the time, right? Later on, she confronts him about Manny Fresh. He lies. She storms off, but then he offers to fix the situation. Jarard makes things right with Shanti by, of course, getting the chain back, speaking good of Shanti's business, right? Business dealings and giving some money, right? But you could tell, even though they made up, once Jarard walked off, that she still pretty much is over Jarard, right? She's just looking for another concrete reason to officially be done. Next, we got Maria, but I'll bring up Maria in the Tommy's Ops section. We'll get there, right? Claudia, let's talk about Claudia now. Claudia, in the beginning of the episode, gets pulled in and asked about the fentanyl uptake in Chicago by Stacey Marks. She changes the topic and offers to catch Tommy Egan on tape confessing to a murder, but she wants to be released to do so. Marks doesn't bite. Next, Claudia works on getting her girl to catch Tommy on tape. Tommy on tape. It doesn't work, right? She then makes a deal with Marks to go home. She goes home. The end of the episode, Tommy's watching. And next, let's talk about the rest of Tommy's ops in this episode, right? Miguel is once again up to something after the meeting with Che. So he meets up with Maria to plan dinner, okay? Miguel then talks to the leader of the Marquez cartel while he's getting some head. I wasn't sure if that was a man or a woman. I don't know. I think it was a woman, though. The plans are for him to offer up Tommy at the dinner with Maria, okay? That's all for Tommy's ops. Next, we're going to talk about the police. Marks and Senga in the office in the beginning of the episode discussing mainly the Marquez cartel. DeFranco walks in, speaking about the fentanyl uptake in the city. Stacy sees an angle. Next, she pulls Claudia in to ask about the fentanyl connection to the Marquez cartel, which I spoke about that in the Claudia section. The meeting with Sang and his woman later on. They talk about Marks working to flip Claudia, which isn't good since they all work for the Marquez cartel. His plan is to let Marks crash and burn, then use Claudia as a pawn to take down Egan. Obviously, this ain't gonna work out in the end. Marks presses Vic about not having enough info to give her on Tommy recently. Marks tells Vic and saying that Claudia will be getting released soon, and that's pretty much all of the episode. Overall, I'm going to tell y'all, I believe that this was a very well-written episode. There's a lot of things going on. I will give this episode, out of a 5, I will give it a 3.5 to a 4. We all know next episode, a lot of shit is going to hit the fan, all right? Y'all let me know what y'all think. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Peace.
Can't teach that shit, nigga. Come on. That's gotta get that. That's touch my ink. That's on the dome, nigga.